Teenage Love, Part 3, The Promise of Tomorrow. As the days passed, things between Alex and Lily continued to grow, slowly but steadily. Their conversations became deeper, their silences more comfortable, and their time together more precious. They hadn't rushed anything, choosing to let their feelings evolve naturally, but the connection between them was undeniable. The uncertainty of the future still lingered, but it no longer felt intimidating. It was something they both accepted, something they were willing to face together. One afternoon, they met up in their favorite spot, a quiet corner of the school courtyard, just before the end of the day. The golden light of the setting sun bathed the benches and trees in a warm glow, casting long shadows on the grass. The campus was quieter than usual, the usual hustle of students winding down as the week neared its end. Alex had been thinking about something for days now, but he hadn't brought it up yet. Now, as they sat together, he decided it was time.
I've been thinking about something. You know, with graduation coming up soon, everything's going to change again. But this time, it feels more real, like we're standing on the edge of something big.
Yeah, it's like we're at this crossroads, and whatever we decide, it's going to shape the next part of our lives. It's exciting, but also kind of scary.
Exactly. And with that in mind, I wanted to ask you something. Do you think love can really survive distance, like when we're not seeing each other every day anymore? Question: do you think love can survive long distances? A. Yes, if both people are committed, distance won't matter. B. No, it's too hard to maintain a relationship when you're far apart. C. It can, but only if you're both willing to put in extra effort to stay connected.
Answer: C. It can, but only if you're both willing to put in extra effort to stay connected. I think distance is hard, no doubt. It takes extra effort to stay connected, to communicate, and to make time for each other when you're not physically there. But if both people are willing to work at it, it can survive. It's about finding new ways to stay close, even when you're far apart.
I think that makes sense. It's not about pretending the distance doesn't exist, but about adapting to it, making sure we still make each other a priority.
Exactly. We might not see each other every day, but that doesn't mean we can't stay close. We just have to be creative and make the effort.
The sun began to dip lower, casting the sky in brilliant hues of orange and pink. The shadows grew longer across the courtyard, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves of the trees nearby. The school grounds were mostly empty now, except for a few students lingering around, chatting in the fading light.
You know, with everything changing so fast, it makes you think about the future. What kind of people we'll be, where we'll end up. But no matter where we go, I think what we've built here is important. It's something I don't want to lose, even as we both grow.
I've been thinking the same thing. It's weird to think about who we'll become in the next few years. But I know one thing. I don't want to lose this either. But do you think people can grow and still stay together, or does change always pull people apart?
Question: Can people grow individually and still stay together? A. Yes, as long as both people are open to supporting each other's growth. B. No, individual growth often leads to people drifting apart. C. It depends if you're growing in the same direction. It can work, but if your paths diverge, it's harder to stay together.
Answer A. Yes, as long as both people are open to supporting each other's growth. I think growth doesn't have to pull people apart. It's about understanding that we're both going to change over time, but as long as we're there for each other and willing to support each other's growth, we can still stay close. It's not about staying the same, but about growing together in different ways.
I agree. It's about being there for each other. Even when life takes us in new directions, growth doesn't have to mean growing apart. It can mean growing stronger together, if we're open to it.
Exactly. And I want to be that kind of person for you. Someone who supports you, even as we both change.
The colors in the sky deepened as the sun dipped closer to the horizon, bathing the courtyard in a soft, golden light. A peaceful stillness had settled over the school grounds, and the sounds of the city beyond felt distant, as if the rest of the world had momentarily paused.
I've been thinking a lot about promises lately. People make so many promises when they're young, about love, about the future, and sometimes they break them even when they don't mean to. Do you think it's possible to make a promise now at this age and actually keep it?
I don't know. I think promises are only as strong as the effort behind them. If you're willing to work for it, a promise can mean everything. But if you take it for granted, it can fall apart. Why do you ask?
Question. Do you think promises made in young love can last? A. Yes, if both people are committed, they can keep their promises. B. No, young love is too fragile for lasting promises. C. It depends on the circumstances. Some promises last, but others fade with time.
Answer A. Yes, if both people are committed, they can keep their promises. I think if both people are committed to the promise they make, it can last. It's not about the age or the stage of life you're in. It's about the dedication you have to each other. If you're both willing to put in the work and the effort, there is no reason why a promise can't last, even if you make it now.
I like that. It's not about when you make the promise, but how much you believe in it and how much effort you're willing to put in to keep it. I think we can make a promise like that and mean it.
I think so too. If we promise to be there for each other, to keep growing together, and to support each other, that's a promise worth keeping.
The last rays of sunlight disappeared behind the horizon, leaving the sky awash in deep purples and blues. The first stars began to twinkle above, and the streetlights around the school flickered on, casting a soft glow across the courtyard. Alex and Lily stood up from the bench, their silhouettes framed against the fading light, and began walking together toward the gates, their steps in sync.
So, what do you think? Can we promise to keep this going, no matter what happens next?
I think we can. As long as we're both willing to work at it, I believe we can keep that promise.
Good. Because that's the promise I want to make, to keep this, to keep us going, no matter what comes next.
Then let's make that promise, Alex, and let's mean it.
Under the twilight sky, with the promise of tomorrow lingering between them, Alex and Lily walked hand in hand, ready to face the uncertainties of the future, knowing that whatever came next, they would face it together. 5 words related to the theme of teenage love. Part 3, The Promise of Tomorrow.
Resilience, the ability to withstand and recover from difficulties, especially in relationships. Sacrifice, the act of giving up something important in order to support or strengthen a relationship.
Perseverance, the determination to keep going even when challenges arise in love or life. Fidelity, the faithfulness and loyalty to someone, especially in the face of temptation or distance.
Commitment, the long-term dedication to making a relationship work through effort, understanding, and trust.